And hello again. Good afternoon and welcome to the first episode in a brand new series of Talk of the Devil, the topical news comedy panel show brought to you by the Lancaster University Comedy Institute. I'm your new host for this new season, Ben Winterton, and joining me today are three of the finest comic minds around to discuss the more flippant side, maybe perhaps the more trivial side, who knows, even the more humorous side of the news today. Joining me today is Mr. Tom Dransfield.
Hello.
Mr. Sean Gilbody.
Hi.
And Mr. Will Salter.
Hello there.
How are we doing, guys?
It's been pretty good. It's been a good week, apart from today.
Good. So, over the next hour or so, I'm going to be asking them a series of questions relating to news stories of the last week or so. They'll receive points for being clever, witty, relevant, and who knows, maybe even correct about some of my questions. So, guys, what have you been up to this last week or so? Or, in fact, over Easter, because we've had Easter since I was last in this booth.
Pagan sacrifice. So that's pretty much what mine was.
Pagan sacrifice.
Yeah.
Were you sacrificing pagans or sacrificing for paganism?
Both. They're not two different things.
They're not mutually exclusive.
No, you can put them back together and it's a whole lot of fun. Family enjoyment all round.
Okay, fantastic. Will, what have you been up to?
I've been it was very sad. I was watching Jesus die on the cross. It was. I went back in time, of course, but it was quite depressing, and I don't really want to talk about it.
That's good. So we've offended two religions so far, and we're 5 minutes into the show. Tom, what did you get up to?
I preached race hate.
Fantastic. Of course, we should point out other religions and race hate groups are available, other than just Tom. Tom's not really a group, he's just a horrible, horrible racist. So I'm going to move on, because this is getting quite bad. So our first round is the quotation investigation. I'm going to give our three panellists a quote from the last week or so of news, and they simply have to tell me who said it. So the first quote is this: Cameron Diaz is up there as well. She's third. There's a few thirds. Beyonce is third as well.
Is this the burns unit in a hospital? And it's talking about the degree burns that each actress has.
I thought you were saying that there was a burn unit hospital, but they'd still ranked them in terms of burns. Like, yeah, you're burnt. You're third burn. So.
Jerry Halliwell, you're second. First, it's too much burning to tell.
What building do you think all these people are in that burnt down?
I'm not to judge. Possibly the Kodak Theatre where they hosted the Oscars, maybe.
When did Jerry Halliwell win an Oscar?
You don't have to win an Oscar to be in the Oscar ceremony. I think you'll find.
That's true. Jack Nicholson is there every week. Not every year, every week. Do you want to hear it again?
Yes.
Cameron Diaz is up there as well. She's third. There's a few thirds. Beyonce is third as well.
I don't know. Is it like they're waiting for something? Are they in like an eternal waiting room, like Limbo in the film Beetlejuice? And they're all third, so there's no sort of number system. They've all just been given third.
And just bearing in mind this is a real quote that actually happened.
Yes.
How do you think I would have obtained that information?
All we have to do is say Beetlejuice 3 times, and then he'll appear. So he probably told you, I think, is what happened.
Right, so you think this is a quote from me after summoning Beetlejuice? It's not, no. Okay, well, who would you think who might be a sort of unlikely sex symbol who might have said this?
Tom Jones.
Is Tom Jones an unlikely sex symbol?
He's unlikely to say this.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. No, it's not Clint Eastwood. Sean was closer. It is a musician.
Is it Neil Buchanan?
Neil Buchanan does have a rock band, although I'm sure you're just linking this in because you want to remind people that you're related to Neil Buchanan.
No, that's not true. But I mean, I think he might be an unlikely sex symbol. Like, if...
My mum fancied Neil Buchanan.
Wow. So there you go. Like, how unlikely...
No, Tom, you don't get points for convincing me the answer is that when it's not. Look, Rachel's mum fancied him, that must be the case. Alright, come on. Cameron right, okay, he's married to an actress.
He's married to an actress, and he's Chris Martin.
It is Chris Martin!
Oh, wow.
Very good, Sean.
Wow.
Yes, the quote was, Cameron Diaz is up there as well. She's third. There's a few thirds. Beyonce is third as well. Rihanna tweets no makeup picture as Chris Martin rates her second to Gwyneth Paltrow. Always keen to keep her 18 million followers up to date with her latest look, 24-year-old Rihanna surprised fans when she posted the au naturel photo online with the caption, just got, in inverted commas, laid. # Hawaiian inlay life. I don't know why she said it in that voice. That's my hashtag voice.
She was slowly getting, as the hashtag went along, she was slowly getting possessed, unfortunately.
That's a brilliant Rihanna impression.
Yes. Anyway, Rihanna's newfound confidence comes after Martin hailed her good looks. He told ET Canada ahead of his tour overseas, "I think she's the third most attractive lady in the world. My first and second is the same person." And then in parentheses they put Gwyneth. She gets 2. Rihanna's a distant third. So that's sort of nice.
I'd love if you didn't put Gwyneth first. You just said Rihanna's definitely up there. She's the top.
I like to think it's like Gwyneth Paltrow, Cameron Diaz, Beyonce and Rihanna are all third. Then it's Gwyneth Paltrow again. Then his sister, and it just goes like that. I said that it goes like that, like there's an obvious pattern there. There's not. Okay, well that's some points for Sean. Okay, so let me quickly write on that. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'd like him to explain more about his Gwyneth Paltrow ranking system. How does she get 2? And why doesn't she get like 5? Why did he stop at 2? Is it because he thinks that she's like big enough to get warrant 2? Like her appearance in Shallow Hal when she was sort of playing a really, really fat person?
Well, I don't have the exact ranking system and the mathematics behind it here. I do know that Coldplay have an empirical system that they have to use when they're writing songs. Did you know that?
No,
It's like there's several points to it, and most of them are just copy Richard Ashcroft. What I particularly like is the fact Rihanna's got confidence after Chris Martin said she's third most attractive woman. She's joint thirdly most attractive woman. Like, she hasn't got confidence by she's an incredibly successful musician who everyone likes. Like, she's got confidence from Chris Martin saying she's joint third on his personal list.
So there are plenty of people as well that would put her as number 1 on their list.
Yeah, exactly. And he's anyway, so I can't defame people. Anyway, second quote. "My buddy loves Star Wars, and he has 2 cats, so I built him this and put it in his apartment."
So, The Great Gatsby, I think. It's a famous passage.
Can you remember? You're saying it's said by Gatsby.
Yeah. Actually,
What's his first name?
Jay.
Very good, but no, that's wrong. Any other ideas?
I assume it's cat TIE fighters.
Cats TIE fighters.
Yeah, as in he's made the TIE fighters for the cats, and now he can pick up the cats and carry them around and stuff.
I think you can already pick up cats.
No,
Like-
but in the TIE fighter.
So like miniature TIE fighters? that
Miniature
cats sit
TIE
in?
fighters that cats can go into. They're not operational. They don't fire the. They don't fire. It's perfectly safe, but they just sit in
Was
there
that
and
a
look
pun?
cute.
You
No.
went for perfectly, I assume. It was. No, I'm just finding them now.
No.
I'll read it again. I'll tell you what, if you can get the what he's built, I'll give you it, because it's not actually a famous person unlike the previous one. "My buddy loves Star Wars, and he has 2 cats, so I built him this and put it in his apartment." What would you build for a cat? What's the most cat-like vehicle in Star Wars?
Oh, I don't know the name of them. The ice thingies. Is it?
They're deployed on Hoth.
Oh,
Yes.
the AT-AT.
The AT-AT, yes, very good. I'll give Wilson points there. Yes, it was the AT-AT, the All-Terrain Attack Transport.
Of course.
No, we're not getting cool points for knowing the name of that. In The Empire Strikes Back, the Rebel Alliance has their secret base on the ice planet of Hoth, attacked by AT-ATs, giant 4-legged mechanical walkers that rain down destructive laser attacks and whose armour is seemingly impervious to retaliatory efforts. 32 years later, one industrious Reddit user has created a replica version of the AT-AT that serves as and I quote, "furnished luxury cat condo for his 2 friends' kitties. I wouldn't consider myself a great woodworker or an artist, but I will take credit for being committed to a joke. I wrecked my house for a month building this, which was about 27 days longer than I wish it would have taken. The trickiest part was keeping any of my friends from coming inside my place for that whole time. I knew they wouldn't be able to keep it a secret. I was originally going to forge an Amazon receipt and make it look like my buddy's cat ordered it on his Amazon account and have it delivered while he was at work. But enough was enough. When it was complete, I had to get it out of my loft and clean up." What do we feel about that?
So I thought it would be like AT-ATs that the cats could operate like in the form of armour for cats. So it made a cat look like an AT-AT. So is it
I
just
bet
like
the cats would love that.
So is it just like a massive lounge for cats? Is it like the size of a
I haven't
room?
seen pictures of it. I think it's oh god. Oh yeah, it is basically it's just like a lounge they can climb up into, and I'll be honest, it looks pretty rubbish to me. That doesn't look like it took a month. I could do that in about a day.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. Now, I may be jumping to conclusions here. I'm pretty sure it has a minibar in. I may be wrong, but anyway, if you go on our Twitter account, what's the hashtag, Rachel? Or the Twitter name?
It's at
TOTD Comedy, is it?
That's the one.
So yeah, if you follow us at TOTD Comedy, you can see everything. Rachel, our wonderful producer.
Also go on their Facebook page; it will be on there as well.
Yes, you can see everything that we link throughout the show. We've got a few messages coming in, so we've got one from Matty Wilson that says, I love Star Wars. Who is your favourite character? Will.
Oh, I just love the character of Jar Jar Binks because I don't know, he's done really well. The CGI is brilliant.
But where was he in the later films? What happened?
Where was he? Well, he did cause he did cause a massive civil war and also the deaths of thousands of people. But you know, I think that just makes him a more
so did
interesting
Vader,
character.
and he's so cool.
That's true. Yeah.
Sean, who's your favourite Star Wars character?
It's the Stormtrooper who is in the hangar in the episode 4. He doesn't have a line, but I can just tell he knows the character
Are you talking
well.
about the one who bangs his head, famously?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's the best bit about it.
Yep. Tom, who's your favourite Star Wars character?
Probably Qui-Gon Jinn, I think. He's the best Jedi. So.
Well, my favourite character is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Which one?
There's only one. Loving the show, guys. Great track. Anything to help me revise my Econ 103? What does that say?
Is needed.
Help me. So, have we got any advice for revising economics, guys?
Econ 103, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that test was Friday, so you're revising a bit late if you're revising now.
Well, Sean showed you.
Worrying
John
Tesla.
Moulin. And finally, we have a message in from Frankie Pops. All right, lads, could you play ABBA Money, Money, Monies? Well, that's not the name of the song, so no. But we will play some ABBA. We'll play a better song than that because I don't really like Money, Money, Money. I think it's overrated. Okay, so we move on to our second round, which is funny because it's true. In this round, I'm going to give our contestants 3 news stories, one of which is real, and the other 2 have been completely made up by myself and the good writing team here at Talk of the Devil. So, this is the first story, guys. Just keep your inquisitive hats on, get ready to permeate my lies and get straight to the truth like a harpoon of righteousness. So, first one. The house always wins. Real-life Ocean's 11 heist ends in failure. A 33-year-old Melbourne man has appealed to have his prison sentence reduced by claiming his attempts to steal from the Crown Casino was influenced by the film Ocean's 11. Jack Ingram further went on to claim the writers of the script should also be given a prison sentence and that the film was dangerously subversive. The Melbourne court rejected the appeal, but not before reiterating that Ingram was clearly motivated by his wife's departure and subsequent relationship with the casino owner. What do we think to that?
I don't know. I'm trying to find which stories are sort of the most or the least Ben, and then I'm going to judge it based on that. I don't know if I believe the very last bit about his wife. So is it saying that his wife had an affair with the casino owner and then died?
No,
What? Where'd you get the death from?
No,
subsequent departure. I thought you meant like
No,
from
his
this
wife's
world.
departure and subsequent relationship. So unless you're thinking she died, then had the relationship, you sicko. Sean and Will, what do you think?
It reminds me of the case when that that man in the top hat made those children. He made them all, you know, disfigured. One was all stretchy, one was fat, and he just said that.
Are you talking about Charlie and the Chocolate
Well,
Factory?
he pleaded that Tim Burton was an influence on his crimes. It's a terrible moment for.
That's very funny. So you can have a point for that. But does that have any bearing on your opinion of this story or not?
Yes.
Good. And Sean.
Well, film-related crime is a problem at the moment because last year someone copied the heist from the movie The Town, and it's worrying.
Is that the Ben Affleck film?
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
Other films are available. Other Afflecks are available. Casey Affleck, he's the better one. We all know it.
Yeah, I hope it's not true because if that's true, then Ocean 12 is going to happen next. And that means then there's going to be some convoluted lines with the Fabergé egg in Europe and then Ocean's 13. And I can't remember what happens in that one, but it wasn't very good.
Good. So your main concern is that, not that whether this is true or not, but if it is true, he's probably going to commit some crimes that aren't as good in the future and are more convoluted and feature Bruce Willis.
And Eddie Izzard.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, my pen's multiplied? That's really confusing. Alright, okay, well, you seem a bit cynical about that one, so we'll move on to the second one. A scandal in Britannia. Sherlock Holmes ranks the most influential British historical figures. The Baker Street Sleuth came third in a poll carried out by a tabloid newspaper, despite being the fictional creation of Arthur Conan Doyle, who was not featured. Winston Churchill topped the list, with Shakespeare coming second. Other real figures in the top 10 that Holmes beat include Charles Darwin, Margaret Thatcher and John Lennon. Actor Benedict Cumberbatch... Benedict Cumberbatch, who has become a star due to his portrayal of the enigmatic detective, said that people who voted for him were a bunch of idiots. What do you think to that, guys?
Well, he's trying to kill his fan base there, isn't he? That's a bit harsh, just calling them all idiots.
Well, no. He's saying that people who can't differentiate between Sherlock Holmes and real people are idiots.
Maybe he's real in their heart. Sherlock Holmes is real in their hearts, and they're just trying to show that we can all be Sherlock Holmes.
What's he been voted for? Sort of the
Most influential Britain.
Third most influential British historical figure.
Right, okay.
Even though he's not a historical figure, he's a literary character.
Right.
It's just scandalous, to say the least.
I think that Benedict Cumberbatch would have more wit to say than just they're a bunch of idiots.
I think it was said in an interview.
Right. Well, I didn't say that he'd penned it down, spent weeks thinking about it.
No.
Oh, if only my pen could express in words.
I think it was said. It was said quite flippantly. He wasn't.
Right. Okay.
He didn't. He wasn't. That wasn't his whole take on the matter. That was sort of a fairly flippant remark.
Who voted for it, by the way?
It was a tabloid newspaper. It doesn't say which one.
Stupid people.
It's just 3 people.
Well, it wasn't. It was the readers of a
In a
tabloid
room.
newspaper, should I say? It wasn't the tabloid newspaper. What do we think about that? Do we think that's more or less believable than the Ocean's 11 heist?
Well, fun fact, Sherlock Holmes was actually born in the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, so he can't be a British hero.
Is that true, Rachel?
No.
Another discrepancy.
Sorry, our producer Rachel knows more about Sherlock Holmes than pretty much anyone else, so you're not going to get any of that nonsense in here, working here, Salter.
I thought you were turning into an Obama situation where you wanted to see his birth certificate.
That's the thing. Watson was just working at that all the time.
What did Sherlock Holmes say to his potassium dough when he wanted to pass in the Radio Times?
Are you actually going to do that?
Elementary, my dear. What's on? And on that note, let's move on to the third story. I'm not cross, I'm just fictional. Student awarded $1,000 scholarship by atheist group for dressing like Jesus Christ on fictional character day. Jeff Schott, a sophomore at Summit High School, was not disciplined for his action back in January, but Principal Charles Farmer did advise him that if the costume caused a distraction during the day, he would have to remove it. Schott voluntarily removed his robes and sash from his costume, which included a hammer and nail. But Schott's pluck was not overlooked by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Annie Laurie Gaylor, co-president of the organisation, said Schott exhibited spunk and a light touch with his actions. How do we feel about that?
So, did his Jesus costume include a hammer, did it say? When did Jesus carry a hammer?
A hammer and nail. He was a carpenter.
Oh, I assumed him as Jesus/Thor.
I thought he
So
was
he could cover both bases.
nail himself to the cross or something.
Times were tight back in those days. You were there, man. What happened?
I was closing my eyes at the time.
I remember seeing your picture in the Last Supper, and I thought he didn't used to be there.
No, yeah, well, Leonardo didn't really get me in the best light.
I think that's the most plausible story.
Oh, sorry, we're just letting Will claim he was one of the 12 disciples. Is that happening?
No, I'm claiming he's a partial observer.
Okay. Sorry,
Looking
Tom.
through the window at the back. Hello. I think that's the most plausible story.
You think that's
one,
most plausible?
yes.
So just to reiterate, we've got House always wins. Real life Ocean's 11 heist ends in failure. A scandal in Britannia. Sherlock Holmes ranks the most influential British historical figures. And I'm not cross. I'm just fictional. Student awarded $1,000 scholarship by atheist group for dressing like Jesus Christ on fictional character day. Tom, you're going for the fictional Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Sean, what do you think?
I think it's Sherlock Holmes.
Do you think it's Sherlock Holmes?
I do.
Why do you think that?
Why?
In 5 words.
In 5 words. Because it's the most plausible.
Okay, and Will?
I'd say the Jesus one.
You're going for the
I'm
Jesus
gonna go
one
for
as
the
well?
Jesus one
Well, he
yeah.
was there, so
I was there. So.
Well, if you'd gone for the real-life Ocean's 11 heist, you'd be wrong. Yes, I made that up. I was quite happy with the name Jack Ingram, though.
I also thought that as well. I was like, the name Jack Ingram is too like kind of cool for it to be the case.
A scandal. So between a scandal in Britannia and I'm not cross, I'm just fictional. I can tell you that Will and Tom are correct. Sean, unfortunately, it's incorrect. So yes, a student genuinely did get a $1,000 scholarship for dressing like Jesus on Fictional Character Day.
The worst thing about that is that Jesus isn't a fictional character. He's a real historical man. So
he existed.
the
Yes.
atheist group should.
You might say I created a humorous parallel betwixt stories 2 and 3. You might not. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying that's an option. All right then. Well, in that case, we shall go to. Do we have any more messages in? Oh, we do have a few. So I've got from the Pink Toothbrush, MC Hammer. Please, I'm not sure if that is requesting MC Hammer or saying is MC Hammer there? Please, MC Hammer.
Is it saying that Jesus carried a hammer so that he could, in a prerequisite reference to MC Hammer years later?
Well, originally his first name was Michael, and he's Michael Christ, so it's MC. No, we're not having that. Unknown says, would Benedict Cumberbatch have pizza for breakfast or fresh, crisp to the touch olives?
I think Rachel's the person to answer this.
I don't know. I don't stalk him to that extent.
But seriously, what does he have?
I think he'd eat cereal like a normal person.
Oh, what do you guys think? Pizza or olives?
Olives.
It's a very Italian choice there.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
more cultured, I think.
Eats just pepper.
Black
Just
pepper.
peppercorns.
That actually says Benedict Cumberbatch. Not Cumberbatch.
Oh, that's true.
It's a different person, really, altogether.
Yeah, and finally, James Shaw says, good, so he should be given the money.
I'm assuming that's the atheist story.
Yeah.
We can assume he's an
But
atheist.
I misread it first and it said, I thought it said God. He should be given the money.
The
As
Atheist
compensation.
Alliance, the Atheist Alliance has awarded a £1,000 scholarship to God.
Yeah, feel free to come down, God.
Claim your reward.
If you're real, get a bachelor's.
Obviously, I'm speaking as the atheist group and not genuinely suggesting God doesn't exist. That's not my position, or necessarily my position. All the views of... Let's move on. Our next round is the Nick Clegg Scheme of the Week. Basically, we think Nick Clegg's getting the thick end of the wedge, so to speak. He's not doing as well as maybe... some Liberal Democrats would like him to. Some might say he's destroyed left-wing politics for Britain in the next 20 years, but I wouldn't say that. That's not me. Anyway, so Nick Clegg's Scheme of the Week is basically our contestants have to come up with a way for Nick Clegg to get back at David Cameron or the Conservative Party as a whole and try and, get back on top figuratively. So let's go to Sean first. Sean, what's your Scheme of the Week?
Well, I struggled this week to think of a theme until I watched The Lion King, and I realised that Scar is actually the perfect example of how to overrule a different leader. So I put George Osborne in the middle of a valley and cause a buffalo stampede. The buffalo would then charge at George Osborne. David Cameron would leap into the valley to save him, and as he would save George Osborne, and as David Cameron tried to escape, I'd push him back into his death, therefore making me, Nick Clegg, the leader.
What would happen to George Osborne?
I'm not too bothered. He'd run off, assuming that it's his fault that David Cameron was killed.
Being chased by Vince Cable, another hyena-like politician.
Vince Cable, Danny Alexander, I'm not too concerned. Jeff Hume, maybe.
So I've got to ask, have you seen the end of The Lion King? Doesn't work out too well.
Like Nick Clegg, I'm thinking of the short game.
Also, I'm not a political expert, but I'm pretty sure you don't get to be Prime Minister just by killing the last Prime Minister. I don't think that's how it works. All right, Will, what's your Scheme of the Week?
Well, I think that through his tomfoolery, Nick Clegg has actually he's actually ordered a mass exodus of all Welsh people to Atlantis because
Sorry, he's forced this.
As in
he has forced this.
Atlantis,
yes.
the underwater city.
Atlantis, the underwater
right,
city.
okay.
Yeah, because someone told him that because he's a big fan of the sea creature krill, of course, and someone told him that whales eat krill, and he's very upset by this.
I'm sorry, Will. That's all fascinating. I don't see how there's any scheme features.
It's been labelled a scheme by many many whale activists.
Sorry, Nick Clegg has forced a mass exodus of Wales, or
Yes,
the people of Wales.
of Welsh people, because he's just inept.
To the city of Atlantis.
To the city of
And he's done
Atlantis.
this to try and overthrow David Cameron.
Yes.
And all the Welsh people will try and eat the krill.
No.
No,
Not allowed.
he doesn't want them to eat the krill.
Doesn't want them to
want them to eat them.
drown. I don't understand.
Where does David Cameron come into this?
He was on holiday in space.
Well, it's a vague and mysterious plan. Tom, what's your scheme?
I think that Nick, who has quite a large head, should turn his head into wood, which he can then use either to sort of stimulate the natural resources of this country and sort of bring back sort of the manufacturing industry, perhaps, in wood-based products like carpentry and natural skills, or he could just use it to sort of fight crime and beat people to death with his massive wooden head.
Right. How would he go about having a wooden head? I don't think it's something you can just think and decide that you're going to have and then you've got it.
Maybe you'll find a wizard under a bridge.
So, just to reiterate, Sean, your plan
Death by wildebeest.
is to reenact the Lion King. Will, yours is
Send the Welsh to Atlantis.
send the Welsh to Atlantis, and Tom, yours is look for wizards under bridges so Nick Clegg can turn his head into some wood to either stimulate the economy or fight crime, but not both.
Yes.
Well, it's a close call. I'm going to have to go with... I genuinely don't know who to go with. They're all terrible. I think I'm going to go with Sean simply because it's the only one that seems to even involve David Cameron, and therefore I think he has to get the points on that basis. Fantastic. Okay, so that was Nick Clegg's Scheme of the Week. Next week, I'm going to encourage our contestants to be less insane. So we're going to go over to some comments now. So from the Pink Toothbrush, we've got both would be good, but a song is satisfactory. I think that was in response when we were talking about MC Hammer. Also, this Pink Toothbrush said, your squeaky chair's developing their own language. Yep. Any comments on that?
Mine doesn't squeak, so I'm out of this.
Mine's not squeaking.
Right, that's that covered. And Unknown, if you had to reenact a plot from a film in real life, which one would you go for? And you can't say Star Wars. I think that came in about 5 minutes ago, so I think Sean's already answered that.
Yep.
Will, what would you go with?
I'd probably go with the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Good answer. And Tom, what would you go with?
I think I would go with the children's film Bolt about Superman.
I think I'd go with the film Casablanca just so I could work on my Peter Lorre impression. Ike, we need to reenact the film. Google Peter Lorre, you'll have heard of him. Anyway, so there's a bit of... right, the problem is I do want to play an ABBA song, which I talked about earlier. Problem is they've only got Fernando, so the next person to message in, they can either choose between MC Hammer, You Can't Touch This, or Fernando by ABBA. So I'm throwing that out there. This is a democratic process. Whilst we move on to our fourth round, headline deadlines. In this round, we have a missing word from a headline or words, and I want our contestants to try and guess what I've omitted from the headline. So, first one. Virginia man accidentally shoots what and what at gun safety class?
Guns and Virginia.
He did fire a gun. He didn't shoot a gun with another gun.
Right.
I'll give you it again. Virginia man accidentally shoots what and what at gun safety class?
And leaves.
Yeah, class.
He'd already had his breakfast, so...
What? So, I think you've misconstrued this round as well, Will. When I said what, that's not the headline. You have to fill in the word, replace the words what with other words. I'll give you it again. Virginia man accidentally shoots what and what at gun safety class?
A shot-for-shot remake of Psycho and the dead body of Alfred Hitchcock.
Very good. Let me award some points. Any other ideas?
Wildly and without restraint.
Funnily enough, he didn't. He was trying to do the antithesis of that.
Is it when he shot his own foot? Is it that guy?
You're close.
Shoots himself and someone else.
I'm going to give you it, Tom.
Okay.
It's self and wife. Virginia Man accidentally shoots self and wife at gun safety class. Michael Deal and his wife Michelle are recovering from the injuries they suffered during the Saturday firearms safety course, which was reportedly held inside a private home. The Bedford County Sheriff's Office said Deal shot himself in the hand with a .45 caliber handgun. The bullet went through Deal's hand and hit his wife in the leg.
Oh my god.
Now, how do you think he was holding the gun? So his hand was in front of it.
And his wife's leg was in front of it as well.
I like to imagine it was in the holster, and then he tried to whip it out cool style. But halfway through, he pulled the trigger and unfortunately shot him in the hand.
I like to
Sean,
think-
can you define what cool style is?
As a rifleman, as a trained rifleman as well, it's an actual technical term.
Good.
I like to think that his wife isn't any kind of like gun safety officer or anything, but she just is involved in the demonstration. And he's like, "Now, what you don't want to do is put a gun to your wife. That's dangerous."
It's cool. The
Is that how they
safety-
talk in Virginia, Tom?
I like to think he thought the safety was on. He was like, "It's fine. Look, I could shoot myself in my hand and aim at my wife's leg at the same time. Nothing could happen
Look,
here."
I'm so confident. I'm going to put my hand on my wife's leg, and then I'm going to shoot at my hand.
Unless he was so confident in like the strength of his hand that it would deflect to the ball. Look, what love. Look, I'm going to shoot it and you'll be fine because my hand is so tough.
So if you accidentally fire a gun, do remember to catch the bullet before it goes into your wife's leg.
In your teeth as well.
What I love also is he's called Michael and she's called Michelle. That just makes me really genuinely happy. I didn't make that up. Okay. Let's move on to our next one. Friends throw dogs what?
A bone.
No, it's not a bone. Any other ideas? Friends throw dogs what?
A surprise party.
I was going to say
It's
that.
not a surprise party. It's some celebration of some kind.
Marriage.
It's a marriage. Friends throw dogs. $5,000 wedding. Despite the hot weather, more than 100 friends and family met at the clubhouse of the Palm Desert Resort Country Club to watch the bride, Scruffy Rubin. Scruffy Rubin, actually. Walk down the aisle. I'm an idiot.
Sounds like a jazz musician.
To watch the famed dog jazz musician Scruffy Rubin walk down the aisle to her groom Snickers Carter, who waited anxiously under a flower-decorated trellis. The first-class wedding, thrown by the mother of the bride, Ernie Rubin, and the groom's mother, Ann Carter, was complete with a wedding cake, open bar, reception, and priest, in inverted commas, performing the vows. What do you think to that?
Inverted commas.
Why is the priest in inverted commas?
I assume
Is
it was
like
a dog priest.
a Great Dane. Wow. That's incredible. When it says friends and family as well, is that like the dog's friends and family or the mother's friends and family? Because
Well-
I can't suspect that either of them has 100
Well,
friends.
what? When it says the mother of the bride and the groom,
How do they-
presumably that's not the owners. That's the mother of the dogs. So they met up and went, "We'll pool our resources and throw them a nice ado." I don't know why these are Italian then. Nice ado. Will, what do you
Do
think?
they
to
have
that?
any say in this marriage?
It's a shotgun
Do you
wedding.
think they're
yeah.
Hindus and that it's an arranged marriage?
It could be, yeah. I don't know.
Well, they're dogs, so they can't give
Yeah,
consent.
exactly.
That's
I
a
call
genuine.
shenanigans.
You call
Yeah, I'm
shenanigans
just
on
calling
that.
shenanigans.
Sean, what do you think to that?
We're in the wrong round, aren't we? Like, these are true stories.
I think these are all true.
I just want your reaction. There's a picture of it. Scruffy Rubin
Oh,
and
it's a shame.
Snickers
She could have done
Carter.
better.
I genuinely couldn't even tell you which one's the male and the female.
I don't know.
She needs a haircut, if anything.
Although one of them's wearing a bow tie, so you should
Yeah.
be able to tell, Ben, really.
I don't think dogs conform to our gender discourse, Tom. All right, let's move on to our next one because it's meant to be a quick fire round. What drops out of tree in US?
Are we going to say this?
Oh,
3, 2, 1.
it's
Bear.
a bear.
Oh, you've read this
We've-
story.
If you listen to the Saturday
We were
Hangover
there.
yesterday, we
Oh,
did
you
this story.
talked. Well, I didn't listen to the Saturday Hangover, but I hear it's an excellent radio show.
It is.
When's it on?
11 o'clock on every Saturday.
On Bellrig FM.
Yeah.
Okay, well, guys, do you want to talk about this story then?
Well, a
Yeah,
bear.
yeah, you know the answer. You do the story then. Fine.
It got cornered. Well, basically, it was just walking the streets of Boulder, which is a city in Colorado, and then he got cornered by the police officials and decided that the way to escape would be to climb up a tree
Into the sky.
into the sky. We assumed it was like trying to see how high it could get, like into the clouds, and then use those clouds as a bit of shelter, but it didn't work.
When you say walking the streets, you make it sound like it's not a bear. A bear doesn't just wander the streets, it's a bear.
Yeah, there's some amazing footage of it. It's a 200-pound bear and it gets tranquilised and falls out of the tree onto a crash mat, thankfully. But yeah, it's big. Just in the interest of fairness, Tom, did you have any humorous guesses for what drops out of tree?
I was going to say leaves at one point, because that happens
So
every
the answer's
year.
no, you didn't have a humorous answer. All right then. I'm going to give everyone a point because I don't think it's Tom's fault that he doesn't present the Saturday Hangover.
I agree.
And finally, retired man. This is my favourite one of the whole show. Retired man builds what to escape wife and daughters?
Door.
It's not door.
David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer used to be perfectly acceptable in society when he was doing Friends.
He did.
I'll give it again. Retired man builds what to escape wife and daughters? It's pretty extravagant.
Is it a jetpack?
It's not a jetpack. They're not legal, I don't think, and I don't think they
tunnel?
work.
A tunnel of some sort? Maybe?
It's not a tunnel. It's something more concrete, more long term than both those things.
A strong investment portfolio.
That's not mentioned, although that could be also a possible answer. Any other ideas, guys?
A piano above a doorway. Just, attached to a piece of flimsy
I don't think
rope.
that's going to escape. I think that's just going to kill him or them.
He's trying to escape life in general, so it was an act of suicide.
Piano-based suicide. It's pretty extravagant.
Does it build self-confidence?
It's not. It's something he's actually built physically.
His body.
No, he didn't build that.
Okay.
Iron Man suit.
It's not an Iron Man. It's somewhere he could live for a while.
Cabin in the woods.
All right, I don't think you're going to get it. It's retired man builds pirate getaway to escape wife and daughters. The retired WH Smith's manager spent 20 years crafting the pirate-themed getaway, which includes a bar, dance floor, electric drawbridge, crow's nest, and working cannons. While it may seem as if he's trying to keep out rival pirates, it is his wife and two daughters who pose a bigger threat. They can strip paint with their tongues from 20 feet away, the 63-year-old said. His wife, Carol, said, I've got used to it, it's just part of the house now.
It's what inbreeding does.
Frightening.
They can strip paint with their tongues from 20 feet away.
They construct paint.
They can strip paint.
Oh, right, I see. Fair enough.
They construct paint with their tongues.
Listen,
To be fair, their paint stripping abilities would have been very useful during the sort of building process.
Stop
whilst
it,
he was
Sean.
renovating.
If it was quite big, it'd be a Dulux construction. I'm going to give myself a point for that. Ben, 1 point. All right, so that's it for the main round. So we've got a couple more comments before that. Unknown says retired man builds Death Star to escape wife and daughters. It's a good guess. It's not the one that's there. I don't know why I'm talking like the guy from Catchphrase. Nick Weir was his name when I watched it. I know the Irish guy's more famous. Anyway, we are going to give the scores in a few minutes, but I just want to give our contestants one final last bid to try and get some points. So if they can come up with maybe a 2-line poem, maybe something satirical about this week's news or one of the stories we had today, I will award extra points. So, Tom, you're up.
Give me some points. Things should go better in my life. I'm lonely.
Okay, good. Sean.
There was a story about the bear, and it made my hair do something. I don't have a poem.
Why did you put the rhyme in the middle of the sentence?
So I didn't think about it, to be honest.
Okay, and Will?
Mine's it's quite it's a metaphysical. It's called Wind Song.
Well, in that case, I think that has actually changed the winners there, the poems. So, without further ado, coming in third place we have Mr. Tom Dransfield. Coming in second place this week is Mr. Sean Gilbody.
I think that myself.
And in first place was Mr. Will Salter. Well done, Will. So congratulations. So that's our winner's day. I also got a point. but I'm going to times that by 1 million. So I actually was the winner.
Well done.
Thanks. I was very proud. I thought I brought my A game this week.
Yeah.
Do you have any more final comments before we go, Miss Smith? We do. Finally, we'll end on the words of Michael Mass. Of course the police need to be fitter. They haven't caught me yet. Good. So that's been Talk of the Devil. I've been your host, Ben Winton. This has been brought to you by the Lancaster University Comedy Institute. Once again, a big thank you to our producer, Rachel Smith. And our guests, Will Salter, Sean Gilbody and Tom Dransfield.